everybody, and welcome to Stand With Us on JLTV. I'm your host, Roz Rothstein. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Stand With Us, a fantastic organization that helps everybody understand a lot more about Israel, whether it's conferences for students, high school students, college students, and now middle school. We're very excited about our brand new middle school curriculum that is going to sweep the country. And also, our materials are incredible. We're probably the largest producers of materials like this for college students and high school students to share with their friends and educate everybody. This is just one example. And by the way, you can request one of our materials. Don't forget, you can go to standwithus.com, look at the top, go to resources, and then pick something, and we'll send you one of anything you want at no cost to you. And just say, Roz Rothstein on JLTV said I could have one of these for free. Please send it. So, okay, today's show is very interesting. We have found that there are a lot of problems regarding Israel and anti-Semitism in South America and in other Latin countries, Mexico and Central America and Spain. And so we have now opened up a brand new department. This is what we do. We very carefully and methodically and strategically open up new departments where needed. And this is our newest effort. And I want to introduce to you Ilan Lopez. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. So before you tell us about the new department working in Latin countries, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So I was born in Venezuela, a country that was known by receiving a lot of Holocaust survivors, and that was the case of my grandmother. When she had to escape from Europe, she decided to go there and create a family and build a family in that country. I was born in a house of multiculturalism. My dad is not Jewish, and he always told me about being with the other and, you know, like living together. And I think the Venezuelan Jewish community was part of the Jewish community, but also of the Venezuelan society. And sadly, everything changed for me when I was 14 years old and I heard for the first time someone denying the Holocaust. And for me, it was the story of my grandmother and how she escaped from Europe and how she started the life in Latin America and Venezuela. And I decided to do something, and I started a group of students, 14 years old students, who studied the Holocaust and then went to non-Jewish schools to teach the Holocaust to other people.
Wow, you know, I did not know that about you.
You see?
That you had other involvement in leadership. So
Yeah.
you're basically a born leader.
Yeah, so
So that's good. We've hired another natural born leader. That's good. That's good at Stand With Us, okay?
So yeah, I didn't choose to do it, but years after that, when Israel and Venezuela stopped having diplomatic relations, we were the ones who took care of the Jewish community. So we took those spaces that were left by the embassy and by the shlichim, the emissaries from the Jewish agency, and we started running the community.
I remember when the Israeli consulate left the country. It was not that long ago.
No, it was
what
2008.
Year? 2008, the Israeli consulate left Venezuela.
Yeah.
Was it because they were kicked out? It was a bad story.
Actually, we were in the middle of a military operation against Hamas, and the Venezuelan government...
When you say we, you mean Israel.
Israel, yeah. Well,
that's
Israel.
the new we. Okay. Israel was in an operation against Hamas,
And the Venezuelan government decided to give 48 hours to the Israeli embassy to leave the country.
Amazing.
Yeah, and after that, all our streets were painted with graffitis calling to kill the Jews, to expel the Jews, swastikas all over the place. And we, the youth of the Jewish community, went out and painted all the streets in Venezuela again.
Wow.
Because we didn't want it to, you know, Venezuela is a country of happiness, of warm people. And this all new hatred against Jewish, it's not part of our identity. So we were doing that. And sadly, at what moment, my identity as a Jewish Venezuelan was under threat. And I couldn't be Jewish in Venezuelan at the same time. And that's when I decided to move to Israel.
Can I ask you, what is the Jewish population in Venezuela, approximately?
So today, that's a really good question. We were a community of 15,000 people.
Yes.
And today, they say that 5,000 maybe.
5,000
Yeah.
Jews are left in Venezuela. So at the break, before we began, somebody came in and said, you know, you made Aliyah to Israel. I really want Jews all over the world, and, you know, I don't want Judenrein countries. And here you are, now you know why a guy like this actually picked up and left and made Aliyah, because, you know, his own identity was under threat, as you said. My own identity was under threat. When you see swastikas and you see kill the Jews, and we don't even hear about this. That's a story that probably you didn't want to elevate. You didn't want to tell that story because you didn't want more of it.
Yeah.
You wanted to sort of cover it up, you know, clean it up and get rid of it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. So now we understand why you made Aliyah in the first place, and that you're a leader. So take us on the next journey. So then you became a lone soldier, right?
Before I became a student in Israel, I studied in the University of Haifa, political science, and then I became a lone soldier in a very special unit in the IDF. And it's the humanitarian and civil affairs unit of the Israel Defense Forces. It's called COGAT, Coordination of Government Activities in the Territories, and I was in charge of a very special program, a program about opening and renewing the social media and the online presence of the unit.
I'm sorry, opening what?
Social media.
Social media.
So social media networks for the unit, and the idea here was to connect with the Palestinian people directly, to have a way of communication with them, and we have seen amazing results. In my 2 years of service, I got to meet Palestinian people. I got to be in operations to give them medical treatment, to see how Palestinians come into Israel every day in order to work and provide to their families. And there's so much than conflict in the daily life of the Palestinians and Israelis. But I think that also, since I made Aliyah, I had this necessity of keep helping the Jewish people in Latin America.
So that's very fascinating, and I know we're going to do another show together about you as an Israeli soldier and your experiences there, so we'll talk more about that. But this show, we're going to talk about your involvement in putting together this brand new department that is going to support Latin American countries. So when we get back, we'll talk about that. We will be right back. Don't leave us. Welcome back to JLTV's Stand With Us, and I'm Roz Rothstein, your host. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Stand With Us, an amazing organization that I hope all of you support. Thank you very much for your partnership. So we're here with Ilan Lopez, who we heard had some trouble in Venezuela, saw a lot of anti-Semitism, especially during the war with Hamas in 2014, that one.
Also, no, it started before.
It started before then, okay. And so this escalated for you personally, and you felt like your identity as a Venezuelan was under threat. So this is where we've got to now. You made Aliyah, then you became a lone soldier, and here you are now as the new director of a brand new effort at Stand With Us. That is everybody should know about this because it's very exciting and very badly needed. So we talked about swastikas, and we know that went on in Venezuela. We know there's only 5,000 Jews left there. But so what are you doing? Tell us how you're approaching this.
So in Latin America, we have this hard situation, and we have also really good friends. The Jewish community, the Christian community. And the idea with Stand With Us is to provide tools to these students that are already taking part in pro-Israel activism to take them to a next level. So we're there to support the initiatives. We're there to create new pro-Israel associations where they're needed. We are translating all these beautiful the educational materials. We're receiving even students in Israel to give them and to teach them through seminars the tools that they need to go back to their countries and become pro-Israel leaders.
So you're speaking to them in Israel, training them, and then they go back to their Latin countries of origin, and they can then share this information with their friends. By the way, that is a cookie cutter thing that we do at Stand With Us, where our best practices are that we teach one person, let's say one person. Actually, we teach thousands of people, but let's say each one person. The one person then goes back to their home, their university, their high school, and they teach everybody around them. So each person goes viral. Each person goes viral. That's our hope, and the energy that we push out, so that we have lots and lots of people teaching their friends and their community about Israel, so that people don't make these big mistakes of assumptions and listening to misinformation and that Israel is evil and all these terrible things that, you know, the other side tries to push out about the state of Israel, when the state of Israel is amazing. So, of course, every country has its flaws, but we just printed this in Spanish.
Yeah.
So we're very proud of that, and we're actually doing this. We are working with kids, with young people, with people of all ages, giving them the tools to stand up for Israel.
Exactly.
So that's one thing that you're doing. I know you just took a trip to Mexico. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So in Mexico, we're trying a pilot model of a program. We're going to start opening and working in the field there with youth leaders, and they will become the leaders of the whole region of Latin America. The idea is that then they will go to countries like Chile, for example, where they have a huge anti-Israel campaigns going on. They have the biggest Palestinian community outside the Middle East. And these Mexican kids will become leaders there and will teach and help Chilean kids to provide information and to activate in favor of Israel.
How will the kids from Mexico be helping the kids in Chile?
So they will become the teachers. Okay, we realize that the best way to do it is from kids to kids.
Okay, we call that youth leading youth.
Exactly.
And actually it is the way that Stand With Us works around the world. Youth leading youth on all levels.
So yeah, what we're doing, we're not creating something new. We're taking the format that already worked in the States, and we're applying it to Latin America, understanding that every single country have their difference. In Mexico, they are in a really good position. There's not really a big movement of anti-Semitism, and so then can help the countries that need it the most, like Chile, for example. So in the future, we will see a network of pro-Israel activists working in Latin America, connected to the network that we already have in Stand With Us of 1,000. How many students do we have in our programs? So many. So many. So they can be one big family helping each other, learning from each other, and then we will see an activism, pro-Israel activist movement working together.
So just to answer your question, even just the last year, our students, youth leading youth, on college campuses had programs, over 800 different programs, including the program you're involved in, we'll talk about later, that reached 100,000 students on college campuses. That's just this last year. And then in high school, we actually had programs, 600 different programs in youth groups for high school students on their campuses, and we reached over 60,000 students just in the high schools. Now we're going to be working in middle school. So it's very exciting, and we have a very exciting platform. Please get involved. Please support us, and if you know of a foundation, please make sure that they know about us and invite us to apply. We have to grow. We have to really think big. Stand With Us needs to grow and stay strong. So you out there can help us. And you right here are helping. So together, we're an excellent partnership.
Yeah.
So tell us more. So what happened in Mexico exactly? Because I know you are going to bring a few students to Los Angeles. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we will create the first international group of students from Mexico coming to our international conference in LA in January. They will start their process of like preparing as leaders. They will have conference with all the students, and they will have all conference specified to Mexico, like how to transmit the Israel message and Israel's story in Mexico, understanding the different language and narratives. And then they will go back and they will be part of the fellowship program of campus and high school. So they will actually
in Mexico.
In Mexico.
Right.
They will have to activate in their community. They will commit to a number of activities that they have to do throughout the year. And that's how we are going to start this process.
So this is the model that we have, and that is how we do it on all levels at Stand With Us. So now we're applying it in Latin countries and with kids from Mexico and hopefully from other countries as well. We have to take a break now, but we will be right back with more of your story and how you're growing Stand With Us and education about Israel in Latin countries. We'll be right back. Please don't go away. Welcome back to Stand With Us at JLTV, and we're here with Ilan Lopez, who is working now for Stand With Us. We're so happy to have you as one of our great leaders, and you're telling us the story about how you're building support for Jews and non-Jews in Latin countries for Israel. So tell us anything else you'd like to tell us. You mentioned the Christian community.
Yeah, so I think we have a really good ally in Latin America, and that's the Christian community, who already love Israel and praise for Israel, and who really need our help in giving them information and tools in order to become pro-Israel activists. So that's something else that we are doing in Stand With Us, working really close to them in order to help them provide that information.
So think about this. I know that if you're a Christian person and you're watching this show, you care about Israel, because otherwise you probably wouldn't be interested in this show. So we are now giving the tools to people in Latin countries who are Christians who would like to stand up for Israel and educate their friends. So that is a brand new frontier. It's going to need support. So if you can help us, that would be great. If you write a check or go online and let us know in the memo that this is directed to the Latin effort, we will make sure that it goes to this effort and helps it grow and grow. So thank you. For example, we just translated this Israel timeline into Spanish, and we're going to distribute it widely. And that takes shekel. It takes dollars. And so we do need support after all. Absolutely. So let's talk about the brand new effort we have also in America for Christian Latinos. Right here, tell us a little bit about that.
We know that there is a huge Hispanic population in the States, and they also keep their connections with their countries. So by working here in the States, we are creating ambassadors to many different Latin American countries, and these kids will become leaders in their countries, in their communities here, and they will expand the pro-Israel activities out there. So I think it's an amazing new program that we are doing.
Yes, a brand new program, brand new in the United States. Stand With Us has now hired a second person to focus on this very issue, this time Hispanics who want to help Israel, who want to stand up for Israel, people that are of all ages, but mainly we are selecting 11 or something young people that are going to teach their churches about Israel. So we've got to work with them first. We're going to teach them first. So we have an Emerson Fellowship on college campuses where there are fellows that teach their communities about Israel. This will be modeled after that. Exactly. So we're very, very excited about that. That's going to be very far-reaching.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So, is there anything else you would like to share about your work, your new work? Is it going well?
It's going amazingly. We have received amazing answers from the communities. People really need an organization like Stand With Us, and I have to say we are the first international organization that is focusing on Latin America, creating programs for them who understand their needs, and I think we will be able to be a change in this region.
Creating change, moving the meter, making sure more and more people are informed is a critical part of what we do. So I want to congratulate you on everything.
Thank you.
And I know you're married, right?
I am recently
Yes.
married. Yeah.
Wonderful.
With a Venezuelan also. We moved to Israel together.
Wow.
Yeah. After 8 years of relation, we got married.
So, and how long did you know her before the two of you left Venezuela?
Like 15 years. We were best friends in the
Oh.
school. So yeah, it's a perfect romantic story of like.
What a nice story. So the two of you met, knew each other growing up, and then you
Yeah.
both made Aliyah.
Yeah,
And
we became a couple,
amazing.
yeah.
And now they're married. So how long are you married?
A year.
1 year.
Yeah,
Okay.
just 1 year.
You're newlyweds.
Yeah,
Living in Israel, living the dream.
exactly.
That's great.
It's exactly that.
Wonderful. So thank you so much for coming on the show. We
Thank
are
you.
so proud of your work and really are looking forward to watching this grow and really flourish in all of the different countries that you're working in. And by the way, I just want to remind everybody, not only just to support us, but that we want to give you a gift. We can give you one of these materials at no cost, or anything that you find online at standwithus.com that you would like to receive at no cost. Just send us a note, go to standwithus.com, resources, pick something, and ask for it, and say, Roz Rothstein told me on JLTV that I can have one thing at no cost. So thank you very much for joining us again today, and we'll see you next Tuesday evening on JLTV. This is Roz Rothstein signing off for Stand With Us. Bye-bye.
נמצא את התשובה